Die Bundesregierung von Deutschland macht Werbung für Bürgergeld in Arabisch und in Englisch auf die Webseite von das Jobcenter. Also die werben für noch mehr Bürgergeldempfänger. Yeah, really. So that's what's happening, people. Here in Germany, we have a very, very, very great welfare system for illegal aliens and immigrants. And what we do in Germany is the government is now advertising on the social welfare sites that are run by them. They're advertising in Arabic and in English how to get free money when you come here as an immigrant, legal or illegal. I mean, your housing gets paid for, and you get spending money, and you're automatically enrolled in the healthcare system, so you don't have to pay for any of that. And you can basically just live here on my taxpayer money forever and ever, just as long as you make it into Germany, which isn't that hard because the borders are basically wide open in all of Europe. And the external countries of Europe don't seem to be able to do anything to protect the outside borders of Europe from illegal invaders. So now the government is already giving this money to millions of immigrants and illegals that are already here, and they don't have enough money to cover the Social Security. They don't have enough money to pay for the bridges and the roads getting repaired in this country. They don't have enough money for the social welfare system. They don't have enough money for the military, right? But they have the highest tax revenue of all time. They don't have money for any of that shit. The reason why that is because they're spending most of their money on NGO projects that are funded by leftist morons that nobody wants and hiding it from the public. And they wonder, you know, what should we do to piss away even more taxpayer money and piss the people off even more? Well, let's give even more people, let's lure them to Germany with the promise of all the riches and the taxpayer money that we work for, that they can just get for nothing. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to speak the language. They don't have to integrate into society. They can basically live in a ghetto place with all their people. They can build mosques. They can stab people indiscriminately on the street. They can rape girls in Britain. They can do whatever they want on our money. And the government goes, that'll probably piss a lot of people off. Let's do that. Let's make advertisements on our websites in Arabic and English to get more people interested in coming to Germany to get free money and live for free in a much better environment than shithole Afghanistan. Let's be real. I mean, who wouldn't take that deal, right? Of course they're going to take it. So I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at the government, because this is the simplest thing for politicians and government officials to take care of. It's a fucking third grader could figure this out. Here's how it works if you want to have some sort of social safety net system for your people, which in general the idea isn't bad. I think that people who suddenly become deathly ill or paralyzed and can't work anymore, or even moms right before they get ready to give birth and a couple of months after, if you lose your job and you need time to find a new job and you don't want your whole fucking life ruined and your rent canceled and thrown out into the street, of course there should be some social safety net system. I mean, what you guys got going on in the States is not real great, right? That's not real great. But here, they've taken that shit to the ultimate extreme so badly that now they can't even, without raising taxes on people, they're not going to be able to pay for this social welfare system because they're not executing it correctly, right? Like I said, a third grader can figure this out. A social welfare system only works if you have more people paying into it than those taking out, right? You can't import a whole bunch of people from other countries and put them on this system, because it depletes the system from money. See, that way more money goes out than is coming in, because not only do you have the people that are paying into the system that are making use of it in Germany, right? You also have millions of people that don't even belong here, that haven't earned any right to anything. They haven't brought anything to the country. They haven't done anything for the country. They have all of a sudden the right to come into the country and live on your dime for free. That's insane, right? And so the only way to keep the social welfare system up is to continue to pump money that you don't have into it, right? And see, the way it works is you don't allow people who have not paid into the system or are not paying into the system currently into this social welfare system. As a matter of fact, the best way to keep it going correctly, right, is to only allow tax-paying citizens, people with a legal right, visa, whatever, to be here, right? Like, I have a legal right to be here because I was born in Europe, right? And I can live and work anywhere in Europe because of the EU deal, right? So I have a legal right to be here. I pay taxes here. I live here. I speak the language. I've integrated, all that, right? So if I need to make use of the social welfare system, well, I've paid into it. I continue to pay into it, and I get to use it, right? But you can't let a bunch of people that bring no value to the country and haven't paid into the system get on this system and stay on it forever. But that's what the German government wants to do. Now, you know, a lot of people say, well, they're stupid and they're incompetent, and, you know, yeah, don't subscribe to malice, what could be incompetence. Look, this is not incompetence, because like I said, a third grader can figure out that a budget is pretty easy to manage if you want to manage it, right? So they know more money going out than coming in means negative, right? Debt. You're going to have to get into debt in order to continue to live the way you live, right? Or you have to earn more money. Now, the government doesn't earn money. They steal your money, right? And they give it to a bunch of NGOs, a bunch of illegal immigrants, not to the pensioners that are getting ready to retire. You know, they are fucking everything up. And even the simplest things they can't keep control of. You cannot have a social welfare system and open borders and just give it away for free to everybody. At some point, that system is going to break down. Look at the pension system here in Germany. The pension system is the same. They have fucked it through policies and, you know, the negative impacts of having children in this country, the expenses that it costs. You know what I'm saying? Things are way too expensive. They've inflated the currency. So the pension system has been generally fucked over by the government, by the politicians running the show. It's their fault. It's their policies, their behavior, what they have done. That's fucked the system up. Now, I know there's an argument for, well, people aren't having enough kids, so there's less and less taxpayers coming into the system, which makes it so that the pension system is unreliable, unstable. Yes, that's part of it. But it's still the government's responsibility, right? It is their responsibility to get this pension system working the way it should, because they've taken all the money from all the people for all the decades and have given it out. And those people have counted on that money to flow into their hands when they're retired. So they have to get that money. And it's the government's responsibility to make sure they do. And if they can't, the solution is not raise taxes. The solution is stop giving illegal aliens a bunch of fucking free money. Stop giving immigrants free money. Stop making advertisements on your websites to lure people here to get the free money. Make it fucking difficult at least. Right? Make it difficult at least. This shit is crazy. These people are not incompetent. They are. They are incompetent, right? they're incompetent for sure. But they're also maniacal, evil, illogical, over-emotional, whiny, bitchy, little adolescent pussies who make every decision based on their emotions and how they feel and don't look at the logic or the reality on anything. They do not give a fuck about you, right? They don't. If they did, they wouldn't rob you at the point of a gun at every chance they get and then give it away to people who don't fucking deserve it. While here, the bridges are collapsing, right? The bridges I have to drive over every day with a 40-ton truck, okay? I'm not too wild about that. That pretty much 4,000 bridges in this country are ready to fall apart at any moment. That does not make me feel great. But I pay a shitload of money in taxes, though. You know what I mean? Fucking big time taxes. And it's not doing shit for me, because you know who's getting my money? Illegal aliens and immigrants coming into the country that don't even have to work when they get here, which is insane. It's insane. You know what I mean? These people are of course they're purposely trying to destroy the country. You know what I mean? Of course they are. And look, I get it that people are like, well, the great replacement theory seems like a far-fetched conspiracy theory. Really? Really? You don't think that the politicians in these countries with these open border policies are purposely trying to replace their native cultures and their native population? Really? What is the reason then? I'm waiting for an answer. If somebody's got the goddamn answer, tell me, because like the politicians never explain it. Here in Germany neither. They never get on TV and say, well, here's why we're letting millions and millions of people into the country. Here's why we want them to come in and get your tax money for free. This is the reason. I'm waiting for a good reason. There's not one, so I have to fill in the blanks myself. The reason is they are definitely trying to replace the native population. I don't know why they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they want to do it. But clearly that's what they're doing. And if that's not what they're doing, then they're going to have to come up with a fucking answer that seems plausible that I'm going to believe. Okay? Because that's all I've got. They're doing everything they can to continue to get more and more and more immigrants into this country and giving them our money that's supposed to be used for shit that will benefit us, but it isn't, right? And they're not stopping. They're barely doing anything to get anybody out. Nobody gets out. Everybody stays forever. Whether they have an asylum claim or not, whether they've been kicked out before or not, no matter how many people they rape or kill, it doesn't matter. They can stay forever. It's once you plant your foot on the soil of Germany, you're in for life. You're basically German right there. You're German. You know, you don't speak any German, and you don't look like a German, and you don't work here, and you don't really bring the country anything, but you're German now. You're more German than I'm German. I'm not German, you know what I'm saying? But they're automatically Germans. I still have to go through a process. If I want to get German citizenship, I have to go through a grueling process. And these people just get that shit handed out like candy. So if the politicians aren't doing that on purpose for some sort of devious or diabolical reason, please tell me what the real reason is then. You can DM me, you can message me at any time, you can tell me what you think the reason is, because I'm very curious. I wonder. No, I think these people are purposely trying to destroy everything in their own countries. And I think it's because they have a globalist agenda. They don't care and are not in service to their own countries. But don't worry. It looks like the people of England, at least, have seen the light. It is getting lit up in England, and coming to a town near you in Germany, it'll be the same. If the AfD does not get elected in 2028 or earlier, 2029 or sooner, right? We're going to see shit that far exceeds England and the protests that are going on there. You probably don't hear much about the protests there because the mainstream media, of course, wants to keep it quiet because there's mega protests outside of all kinds of immigrant hotels in Britain because people are done. It's going to be a summer of love in Britain. And it's just going to keep heating up. until the government breaks and starts doing something. And that's what it's going to get to here in Germany as well. At some point, it's going to get violent because people are going to be left to their own device. People are going to wake up and go, okay, well, the government is not doing shit to protect me, my kids, my values, my money, you know what I'm saying? My neighborhoods. They're not doing shit. As a matter of fact, they're making the situation worse, which means I have to do everything I can to protect myself. And that's when shit goes awry. So we'll wait for that day, or the day that the AFD gets elected, which looks like it's coming up. That's at least, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel here is the AFD is almost certainly going to be the winning party the next election. Almost certainly. Everybody has fucking had it. And it's about fucking time.